Just two observations. One is that America can do absolutely nothing in Pakistan for many reasons. One is an historical cumulative burden that exists whereby 60% of Pakistan's population is under the age of 25, of which barely 10% are educated, including the petrodollar madrasas. That is not something that can be cured in the short term. This has been the policy of our successive governments, whether it be military dictators or elected politicians. And the irony is that the least amount of allocations have been made to education since the inception of Pakistan. That is fertile ground for what is the Islamic jihad today. And it is the biggest crisis we have right now. Secondly, the economic meltdown is based on endemic corruption, lack of governance, and because of the degree with which illiteracy survives, the complete control of civil institutions by the generals, one way or the other. To exaggerate, Pakistan is a quintessential military state. And to dismantle it will require a lot of effort and a lot of courage by the people of Pakistan. This happens every now and then. There are volcanoes that erupt, but we always end up in the lap of this or that general. The second thing is pertaining to Al-Qaeda. And I would not venture into the details, which Bruce, of course, has expressed so powerfully in his work, both in Search of Al-Qaeda and in the current book, and which is that Al-Qaeda is a franchise. It's an anarchist movement based on egotistical Salafis and finding the most fertile ground in Pakistan. So the greater issue today in terms of this random terrorist movement is not Afghanistan, it's Pakistan. And the way Pakistan itself treats the situation. I'll give you an example. Salman Taseer, our dear friend, His Excellency's dear friend, was killed brutally. And there was an uproar. The uproar was by the mullahs and by these jihadis that Salman was an infidel and the guy who killed him will go to heaven, so you must support him, and even was made a hero overnight. For 3 days, there was big hue and cry over television, processions coming out, and on the 4th day, it was dead silent. So what happens is that even the media and our electronic media is thoroughly controlled by the agents of the army. They cannot be vetted, they have to be cleared. I applied for a TV license, for example, once, and the ISI came to me and they grilled me and they basically you have to pass the test. So the process in Pakistan today is not for any outside party to serve us. The United States, as Bruce has said, it messes things up more than it cures. And there was a time, and I've been talking to a lot of friends in Washington and in Pakistan and Americans, that there was a time that you actually engaged with civil society in Pakistan. You opened up, you allowed thousands of students into America to study, to provide scholarships, to provide knowledge and access to universities, culture, and openness. And that died long ago. It doesn't exist anymore. So no wonder that America is not recognized by the people of Pakistan anymore. And therefore, the sad part is that the situation is not easily controlled. It is beyond control right now. If you get a prophetic general, an Ataturk or some magician who comes and does something drastic, I don't know about that. But the democratic process is a slow process. It requires a lot of courage and it requires a lot of time. And where the bulk of your population can be bought with £1 and 10 shillings, the democracy cannot thrive like that. It takes a long time. Secondly, quickly, the narrative that Bruce has discussed in Search of Qaeda regarding Ayman Zawahiri's narrative about the political chant is about the Ummah, the community of Islam. And I just want to point out that that is the biggest myth we Muslims suffer every day, that the community of Islam has never existed. And soon after the death of the Prophet, Islam's early history is based on civil war, whether it was the First Empire or the Second Empire, and then the slave dynasty, and then the Ottomans. And so, cleverly, Zawahiri concentrates on the Ottoman Empire as the example of the caliphate. And the joke there is that the Ottomans were just hedonists. They did nothing. The Industrial Revolution passed them. All thinking passed them. There was not a single scientist they produced. They loved architecture, they loved music, and they loved the culture of Islam, which they brought to high Renaissance. But that's about it. So I just want to make that point clear, that this myth of Ummah that the Al-Qaeda parades around died long time ago, and specifically after the creation of the nation state in the post-colonial world. So, thank you.
Thank you.